Hi, I'm Craig Brelsford, and welcome to another episode of Small Stocks, Big Money. For those of you new to the show, RedChip is an investor relations, media, and research firm focused on emerging growth companies. Our unique platform combines global multimedia with traditional investor relations, reaching investors around the world. Now, today's show features interviews with executives of two public companies. First up is BioVie, stock symbol BIVI on the NASDAQ. BioVie is a clinical stage company developing what it believes will be transformative therapies to overcome unmet medical needs in neurodegeneration and liver disease. The company is developing NE3107 for Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and BIV201 for refractory ascites and HRS-AKI. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Next up is Mobilicom, stock symbol MOB on the NASDAQ. Mobilicom provides cybersecurity and robust solutions for drones and robotics. The company is positioned to capture market leadership as the top end-to-end provider of hardware and software solutions in the rapidly growing defense and commercial drone and robotics market, a total addressable market expected to reach $8.5 billion by 2026. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine, as well as wars in the Middle East, are expected to further drive demand for Mobilicom's drone cyber tech solutions. The company's large portfolio of field-proven technologies includes cybersecurity, software, and hardware solutions that power, connect, guide, and secure drones and robotics. Through deployments across 18 countries with more than 50 customers, Mobilicom generates revenue from hardware sales, cybersecurity and software licensing fees, and professional support services. Its IP strategy includes patents and, more often, trade secrets, in accordance with top-secret military applications. Mobilicom's customers include the world's leading defense and commercial drone manufacturers. We'll learn more when we speak with the CEO later in the show. Now, before we get to the first interview, our quote of the week. It comes from the book Small Stocks, Big Money. The single most important way we attempt to manage risk in any environment is by seeking to buy stocks very cheaply. We never want to pay too much. This quote comes from Bill Hench from Royce Funds, and it is featured in Chapter 3 of Small Stocks, Big Money, a book of exclusive interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Get a digital copy on Amazon today for just $18. Now, let's get started with our first interview today with BioVie.
Kong, thanks for being with us today.
Dave, thank you for having me back.
Well, it's my pleasure. Always love to have you on Small Stocks, Big Money. I want to start with an overview of your current clinical priorities and the significance of the recent financing round in achieving these goals.
We have multiple assets that are currently in late-stage clinical development, but our number one priority is our Parkinson's program, which we hope to start the next trial later on this year. And the recent raise that we did essentially allows us to go and start that program. So that's very exciting.
Well, let's talk about that. You have an upcoming phase 2B trial for your first-line monotherapy for Parkinson's disease. Talk to us more about this technology and why you're confident that it could work to treat Parkinson's.
In preclinical studies, we saw in non-human primates that 3107 was very effective at helping the non-human primates regain motor control. We then took it into humans in a phase 2 study where we gave 3107, which is now known as bezisterim. So we gave bezisterim along with the standard of care, which is a drug called levodopa, to 40 moderate to severe Parkinson's patients. And we saw that those that were treated with bezisterim had greater motor control, especially first thing in the morning, right? But that was done as an add-on to levodopa. And upon seeing the results and discussing it with our experts really urged us to change their priority to put the program as monotherapy first. So that's what we're doing next, is that we are giving bezisterim to newly diagnosed Parkinson's patients that need to go on therapy for the first time to control the Parkinson's symptoms. So we aim to enroll maybe somewhere between 50 to 100 patients, randomized 1-to-1. Half will be given bezisterim, to control their Parkinson's symptoms, and the other will be given placebo. Right? And this is monotherapy, first-line therapy trial.
How big is that population?
Well, in the United States alone, estimates are that about 150,000 Americans are newly diagnosed with Parkinson's every year. So this is actually a significant population. But more importantly, when you're diagnosed with Parkinson's, everyone knows that you're on a one-way road to decline. Right? And bezisterim has the potential not only to address the symptoms, but also help to delay the neurocognitive decline that's associated with Parkinson's. And then we saw that in our non-human primates studies, and we hope to see that in this human clinical trial.
What makes this drug different from other drugs for Parkinson's?
Well, the standard of care for Parkinson is a drug called levodopa, which was introduced over 5 decades ago. And levodopa works by replacing the missing dopamine amounts that are in the brain. But 2 things need to be true to develop Parkinson's symptoms. The first is you need low dopamine environment in the brain. And the second is you need to have inflammation and the associated insulin resistance. Right? You need both to be true. But until now, clinicians never had a tool to address the insulin resistance and inflammation. So the only tool that was available is replace the missing dopamine. So now NE3107 works by reducing inflammation and insulin resistance. And that's why it gives a completely new approach to treating Parkinson patients. And we believe that when fully developed, bezisterim could become the first new therapy for Parkinson's since the advent of levodopa 5 decades ago.
And that would be worth a fortune.
We believe this could be a very significant market opportunity, and more importantly, a great new tool for clinicians and patients.
And how long will this phase 2B last?
This phase 2B, well, it's only a 3-month to primary endpoint trial. So we hope to have clinical results, the top-line results of this thing by summer or fall at the latest of 2025.
Let's go to a different topic. The U.S. Department of Defense awarded BioVie up to $13.1 million for a drug that treats long COVID. How will this funding accelerate your research, and what are the trial's main objectives?
You know, we believe that inflammation is the root of many things that start to go wrong in the body. And by bezisterim's ability to modulate inflammation, we believe it's applicable in a large number of conditions. And recent studies have shown that long COVID fundamentally is an inflammatory related condition. So by reducing inflammation, we hope to show that bezisterim can address the needs of the 17 million people in the United States who have had long COVID. So it's terrific that the Department of Defense has granted us $13 million, right? It comes in 2 tranches. It's actually, the grant is fully funded, right? It just happens to be coming in 2 parts. The first part is the design of the protocol. And once we design the protocol and show it to the Department of Defense, there's a team that looks at it, and that then releases the second tranche to allow us to go and conduct that trial.
Let's talk about your phase 3 trial for Alzheimer's. Where does that stand today?
We're very excited to essentially restart the Alzheimer's program in due course. We need to do 2 things to launch the next phase 3 trial for Alzheimer's. First is we need to complete development of a once-a-day version of 3107 or bezisterim. Right, the previous trial that we conducted used a twice-a-day version of bezisterim, and we saw very, very encouraging results whereby patients saw a 68% slowing of cognitive decline compared to those that are on placebo. Right? So we now need to go and do the next phase 3 trial, and since we're so close to having a once-a-day version, we decided to let's just hold off so that we get the once-a-day done so that we can use it for the trial. Right? And of course, the second thing is we still need to raise some more additional funding to fully fund that phase 3 trial for Alzheimer's. And so we hope to have that up and running by middle of next year.
Kong, I'm very impressed with your clinical lineup. You've got a phase 2 drug for Parkinson's. You're preparing for another phase 3 for Alzheimer's. and you have a $13.1 million grant from the Department of Defense for a drug for long COVID. That's very impressive, particularly given your current market cap. What is the essential value proposition for investors today? Maybe include what analysts have said and what target prices they've given you.
I believe we have one of the most exciting portfolios in biotech today. In bezisterim, Parkinson's patients may eventually have the first new therapy since the advent of levodopa over 5 decades ago. Right? In Alzheimer's, bezisterim may become the first effective drug to arrest or slow the cognitive decline associated with Alzheimer's and not have to worry about the very severe side effects that are associated with other options that are available in the market. And in long COVID, there are 17 million Americans that are suffering right now without any therapy. And we are quite hopeful that the $13 million that the Department of Defense has granted us may open up a new avenue to try to treat these patients. So we believe we represent a terrific buying opportunity because the market does not fully understand and realize the value of what we have in our portfolio today. So for shareholders who understand our science and who have a long-term outlook, we believe we represent a terrific buying opportunity right now.
Kong, I have to agree with you. I represent a lot of biotech companies, as you know, and you've got, again, 3 drugs that potentially are just blockbuster, multi-billion-dollar opportunities. So keep up the good work, and we'll see you again soon.
All right. Thank you so much, Dave. Great to be back with you today.
Now, to get more information on BioVie, visit biviinfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. We also have a free weekly newsletter you can subscribe to at redchip.com featuring emerging growth companies like BioVie. Now, let's move on to our next interview today with Mobilicom Ltd. Hello there. Today we have Oren El-Khayyam, co-founder and CEO of Mobilicom, trading on the NASDAQ under the ticker MOB. Oren, welcome back.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here again.
Oren, please start by giving us an overview of Mobilicom's core offerings and how your solutions are transforming the drone and robotics markets.
One of the important differentiation of Mobilicom in the marketplace is that we are the sole vendor that is an end-to-end provider of the critical system behind the drones and robotics. We are the provider of the cybersecurity, we are the provider of software and hardware solutions that help those drones or robots to operate, to secure themselves, and to perform the mission they were designed for. So Mobilicom is the critical provider of the critical building blocks that set this industry and enable those manufacturers.
Now, Oren, you have a robust global presence with significant contracts from defense and commercial sectors. Can you discuss how these partnerships have shaped Mobilicom's market strategy and what future expansions we might expect?
So Mobilicom started with our presence in Israel, where we have worked very closely with the Israeli Ministry of Defense that are using drones and robots for decades and understood the needs of the future and work with the customers to develop the building blocks and solutions that we have today in the markets across the cyber, software, and hardware. And then we have close partnership with tier 1 players. We believe in the strong players that are going to lead the industry in the future. We're working with Rafael, we're working with Elbit, we're working with Israel Aerospace Industries and the Israeli Ministry of Defense, and supplying all of them, integrating our solution into the future of their platforms on small-sized drones and robots, and we've done that successfully. From there, we expanded into international markets, starting with United States and Europe, which are very large markets, including Asian penetration to leading tier 1 players. We believe that working with those tier 1 players will increase our capability to win large market share in the future and accelerate this industry, and that was part of our strategy from the beginning.
Congratulations, Oren, on your successful proof of concept with Airbus involving your unmanned aerial vehicle called the DODT-25. Can you share more about what this achievement means for Mobilicom's future in high-speed and long-range UAV operations?
Up to recently, Mobilicom was focused on small-sized drones, which are the biggest volume and value in the industry as we see it. But we always cater for the needs of our customers, especially those tier ones that have mini, small, and large platforms. And we understood that as an end-to-end provider, we have to enable them across the different platform solutions. We then came with series of products like the MCU 70 and MCU 300 that enable the operations of long-range drones up to 100 kilometers and even more, jet drones, which are high speed and which are needed in the future, that are able to operate on those mid or large platforms. And the successful cooperation and flight tests with Airbus shows and demonstrate the technology superiority of Mobilicom and the capability to expand our portfolio and grow our potential market share in the market and support our customers. It needs to say that successful operation with Airbus, which is one of the top aerospace and aeronautics companies in the world, is great credibility for Mobilicom, and we are proud of it.
Oren, the launch of Mobilicom's operations system OS3 has been described as a game changer for the industry. How does this platform enhance the operational security, safety, and compliance standards for your clients?
So that's a long journey that we took as part of the cybersecurity strategy across the industry. We analyzed the needs of the similar markets in the past, like the automotive vehicle industry, as well as the industrial IoT, and learned about the evolution of those industries. And then we took all those expertise together with our expertise in the drones and robotics and brought a very innovative solution and groundbreaking to the industry. We are the first with the world solution that can first secure, protect, and enable the missions of those drones and robots across the industry. It's a software package that is designed to be on the AI edge computing and manage and help the platform to secure itself and operate in all conditions. And we have the cloud solution that masters the entire fleet and enables those drone operators and service providers, which are 80% of the market in the future, and that's important segment, to control their assets and perform their missions and bring the top line and bottom line they are aspiring for. So those are crucial components that we brought from our experience in other markets into the drones or robotic market, and we strongly believe that that will be a crucial game changer solution in the marketplace.
Mobilicom's 2023 results included an impressive 43% year-over-year increase in revenues and a strong cash position. What are the key drivers behind this stellar performance, and what should investors expect moving forward?
So Mobilicom is a milestone company. In current stages, yes, we have revenue and it's growing and we are happy about it. But more importantly, we set a set of milestones and strategy that as we are implementing that, it will bring us to a very big jump and success. And that's the story behind Mobilicom. We educated the investors about our phases of growth. We are delivering on that. We are working with the biggest player and we are executing. Last year was another successful year on building that, and the first quarter and second quarter of this year shows that we continue in the same momentum and even faster. So we see more delivery to more customers, expanding our footprint in the United States, helping our customers to grow their presence as they are scaling and winning large programs of record across the world. We are enabling them and supporting them, and as they will start mass production with starts that already initiated, we will see great scalability. So the milestone that we showed is the story of Mobilicom. And if you follow those milestones, you understand and ticking the boxes of success. And then you understand how Mobilicom can jump and get to the hockey stick curve that everybody is expecting. And we, with it, we are strong believers that we are on the roadmap to great success.
Management key to the success of any company, and especially of a smaller cap company. Who are some of the key players on your team?
Like always, and in different startups and companies that I've led or been part of, it's all about the bonding of the right people that can work together as a team. I was lucky to find great partners in my journey at Mobilicom. We have the most important partner is Yossi Segal, which is the co-founder and the VP R&D and CTO of Mobilicom, a well-known industry leader in the tech side that innovated for many years in the cellular, wireless, and other industries, was leading standard committee in the United States and Europe, contributed immensely onto different evolutions of different standards. So that's a key partner that cover the innovations and bringing Mobilicom to the edge of technology every day. We have additional members like Udi Altschuler, which is the GM of Mobilicom Israel, which also leads the OS3, the innovative solution of cybersecurity and cloud solutions, backed by his experience from other cyber companies and automotive vehicle markets. And we are proud that he came to make this revolution within Mobilicom and grow this market. We have other leaders on the financial side and sales sides like Liad, that is leading or the sales sides like David. So there is a big team of members that help to shape and bring this company to success. So this is another opportunity to thank them for the great work behind the scenes for the success of Mobilicom.
Now, I'm going to put you on the spot here, if that's okay, Oren. What is the essential value proposition in just a few sentences, perhaps? Could you tell us, why should an investor take an interest in Mobilicom right now?
I think that every smart investors understand when the industry is coming to big rise and growth, it brings challenges. So the drones and robotics are on the verge of a big explosion across different commercial and defense market, and the defense already started. Okay, and when you see that, you ask yourself, what are the obstacles that will enable that scalability, and what is the next step that is essential to the industry? Mobilicom believed in the cybersecurity, different elements, hardware, software, and so forth, that are essential to this industry, and brought portfolio of products that solve the problem ahead of everybody else, and leaders in this market, from the standardization activity to products and solutions to bring it to the market and prove it in battlefield or in commercial markets. If you believe and understand the cyber revolution around different markets, the same will happen in the drones or robotics. Join the journey with Mobilicom for great success, because that will be essential to the industry's success as well.
Great story and a great delivery, Oren. Thank you for sharing your story with us today.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Now, to get more information on Mobilicom, visit Mobilicominfo.com. You'll see research reports, fact sheets, presentations, and the latest videos. It's all free, and you can even subscribe to email alerts to stay on top of the latest news. You can also call 1-800-RedChip to speak to a specialist if you have any questions. We also have a free weekly newsletter you can subscribe to at redchip.com, featuring emerging growth companies like Mobilicom. And be sure to sign up for our weekly newsletter and learn about a lot of small cap companies. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly our client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, visit redchip.com and subscribe today. In addition to our newsletter, you can order Small Stocks, Big Money. This is a book written by RedChip CEO, featuring interviews with some of the biggest players in the microcap space. Get a digital copy on Amazon for $18. Now, let's recap the companies featured today. First, you met BioVie, stock symbol BIVI on the NASDAQ. BioVie is a clinical stage company developing what it believes will be transformative therapies to overcome unmet medical needs in neurodegeneration and liver disease. The company is developing NE3107 for Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and BIV201 for refractory ascites and HRS-AKI. Learn more at www.bivinfo.com. Then you met Mobilicom, stock symbol MOB on the NASDAQ. Mobilicom provides cybersecurity and robust solutions for drones and robotics. The company is positioned to capture market leadership as the top end-to-end provider of hardware and software solutions in the rapidly growing defense and commercial drone and robotics market, a total addressable market expected to reach $8.5 billion by 2026. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine, as well as wars in the Middle East, are expected to further drive demand for Mobilicom's drone cyber tech solutions. The company's large portfolio of field-proven technologies includes cybersecurity, software, and hardware solutions that power, connect, guide, and secure drones and robotics. Through deployments across 18 countries with more than 50 customers, Mobilicom generates revenue from hardware sales, cybersecurity and software licensing fees, and professional support services. Its IP strategy includes patents and, more often, trade secrets in accordance with top-secret military applications. Mobilicom's customers include the world's leading defense and commercial drone manufacturers. Learn more at mobilicominfo.com. Don't forget to check our stocks page. It's the biggest small-cap stock portal in the industry. Every company listed on the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange with market caps of $2 billion and less. And it's categorized by industries. And be sure to sign up for our weekly newsletter and learn about a lot of small-cap companies. Also, go to our website and sign up on our events page for the webinar series. We have webinars every week, several a week, in which we feature small public companies, mostly our client companies, and you'll hear straight from the CEO, and you'll be able to ask questions after that. Again, if you have any questions about any of our public companies featured on today's show, call us at 1-800-RedChip or email us at info@redchip.com. In closing, remember, while small caps can provide significant gains, you must be prepared for the downside. Small cap stocks are among the most volatile of asset classes, and some of the companies featured on this show are RedChip client companies. We may own stock in these companies, so please always read our disclosures at redchip.com. Thank you for being with us today. We'll see you next week with some new, exciting, emerging growth companies.